Oh, yeah, that's the way it's done, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we can. Vocals, the extraordinary Catherine Russell, and of course, Millennial Territory Orchestra. We have Stephen Bernstein on the line. Maestro, you with me? Oops, hello? Maestro? Oh, no, hold on. Oh, boy, let's see. He's on. Stephen? Oh, I'm having technical issue. And Stephen, okay, so I'm going to play another track because I'm having a technical issue here, and we're going to get him on the phone. Just bear with us, and thanks for tuning in here, 91.3 WVKR. Ninety-one three WVKR. We are going to try this again. Stephen? Something's going on. Okay. Back to the music. Sorry, folks. We'll get it together. Sorry. Stephen? Okay, we're trying. We're having technical issues, everybody. Thanks. This is live radio. So let's see. And I've done this over 400 times. So there is a live issue. Stephen? Yeah, not working. Okay, back to the music. 3 times the charm. And we're going to try this a different way. Stay tuned, folks. Stay tuned. 91.3 WVKR, Independent Radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. I've got Stephen Bernstein on the phone. Thanks, everybody, for hanging in. I hope those of you that love the art of live radio understand that once in a while there are technical issues, and this happens to be one of them. So thanks, everybody, for your patience. I'll do a quick intro here and talk to you about today's guest. Start out by saying Grammy-winning trumpeter, composer, arranger, and bandleader Stephen Bernstein has worked with a wide array of musicians, including Alan Toussaint, Linda Ronstadt, Rufus Wainwright, Bill Frisell, Levon Helm, Henry Butler, Laurie Anderson, just to name a few. He has composed works for film, theater, and dance. He's bringing his band Millennial Territory Orchestra, aka MTO, to the 47th annual Saratoga Jazz Festival on Saturday, June 30th. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets to that festival for the day after the conversation here. And with that, a warm welcome back to Local Motion, Stephen Bernstein.
Nice to be back, Rita, and welcome back from your trip overseas.
Yeah, that was a pretty nice one there. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. So listen, I always love talking to you. I've called you Maestro for years, even before the movie came out. And so this is old hat. Yeah. And I'm a huge, start off by saying to the listeners that I am an avid fan of Stephen Bernstein. Anytime he's in the area, I do try to see. You have such great incarnation of different bands. I mostly want to obviously talk about MTO and what you guys are doing. You got some jazz festivals lined up. But just to go back in time, which we usually do when we talk. I know you were born in Berkeley. Your Berkeley school band director had a large influence on you in your early years, and you were so young when you first came out to Woodstock to Creative Music Studio. Talk just for a few minutes about that.
It was kind of crazy when I think about it, because it was 1977, and I'm born in 61, but I'm born in October, which means I was 15 years old. And 15 years old. And Peter Applebaum and I had read in Downbeat about it. Was incredible. People were going to be up there. It was Dollar Brand, now known as Abdullah Ibrahim, and Leo Smith, and Carla Bley, and George Russell, and Jimmy Jufrey. And we got to get up here. And I can't believe our parents let us do that. We just went up to Woodstock. Like, I was 15 and Peter was 16. And we went up to Woodstock and spent. It's very unclear how long we were up there for, because you know how your memory is from that age.
Right.
But I think it could have been like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. I don't know. It was definitely. It was. They actually had like I wouldn't quite call it a campus, but they had this place called Olders Mountain Lodge, and they had bought the lodge. And that was where they had a physical headquarters, and we all stayed in these little funky 50s lodges, and we'd go out there and do music all day and music all night. It was really a very groundbreaking experience to spend that time with Carl Berger and Ingrid Serzo and all those incredible musicians. Yeah. And so that was my introduction to Woodstock, and I kept coming back afterwards because I was in Karen Mantler's band. Karen is Carla Bley's daughter, and I guess that was like must have been the mid-late 80s. That must have been around 88 or something like that. So 10 years later, I started coming up there to rehearse and record with Karen Mantler, and so I've had this long kind of ongoing relationship with Woodstock and the whole area up here.
Well, you bought your instrument there too, didn't you?
Yes. Oh, I forgot. Yes, and the slide trumpet came from Woodstock. Yeah, I don't think Woodstock doesn't want to be responsible for that, but I don't blame Woodstock. But don't blame us for the slide trumpet. But yes, the slide trumpet did get purchased in Woodstock. Yes.
Oh man, that is so cool. And now, of course, years later, you're still playing, and like you just said off air, you're playing this weekend at Levon Helm Studios.
Yeah, I played Saturday and Sunday up at Levon's. Absolutely, yep. And then also now the Creative Music Studio they're doing stuff in Kingston at the I think it's called the Shirt Bell Factory,
T-shirt factory or something, right?
No, the Shirt something factory. There's not a T in it, but it's Bill Horberg's space in Kingston. So I've been up there a few times to play with them in Kingston, and so yeah, go up there and play with Brian Mitchell every once in a while. So yeah, the Woodstock, and of course the Falcon. I'm at the Falcon all the time. I was just at the Falcon 2 weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I missed that show. I was
Yeah,
away.
that was a pretty great one. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I have a long running relationship with the whole Woodstock area.
And the beautiful Hudson Valley. And
Oh my
yeah,
God, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
No, we just love having you. I also want to talk about Sex Mob. You've got a new
yeah.
album out.
Got a new album out, Sex Mob the Hard Way, with produced by Scotty Hard. Some very electronic kind of based record. We started with a bunch of Scotty's loops, and it's a very cool record. It's on a very cool label called Corbett versus Dempsey, and they're an art gallery in Chicago that puts out. It's a beautiful art gallery, and they put out records and books, and they have an amazing. It's very highly curated, and they have an amazing array of records. Like all basically, when I found out about them, I looked, and we've talked many times about Hal Willner. So Hal's first record, Emma Cornina Rhoda, was re-released on Corbett versus Dempsey, as well as the first record he ever produced, which is a Beaver Harris record. And I went on the site and I saw that, and I see, wow, they have a new Van Dyke Parks record, and they have Sun Ra, and they have Don Cherry, and they have Lester Bowie, and I was like,
Wow.
oh, I just found my home. That's my world. I mean,
Yeah.
if Van Dyke Parks and Lester Bowie and Don Cherry and Sun Ra and Hal Willner, I mean, that's home for me. So it's a very cool label, really beautiful pressing, and also Sex Mom's been touring with Laurie Anderson
Yeah, out
this year.
west though. When you bringing that stuff out east?
Well, we did one show at BAM in October, and I mean Laurie's a very busy person, so whether we do another show in the East Coast is. I mean, everyone wants this show. Like every promoter in the world is like banging down the doors to try to get Laurie to do this. But Laurie's now working on her next project, which we're helping with the music. We're not going to be on stage for it. It's more of a theatrical production that she's doing in Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
But we're working with her on the music on it, and then once that gets done, which will be in November, maybe in 2025, we'll do some more gigs with her. But the thing about Laurie, she's just she's working on movies, she's working on her next museum show, she's working on a book. She's music is just one of the many things that she does with her time.
Now,
So
what about Sex Mob without her?
we will be playing, but right now nothing major on the books, just some local gigs in New
Okay.
York.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Stephen Bernstein, man. That's some good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Sun Ra, I don't know if you know, but Marshall's going to be 100 years old. They've got two shows happening at Opus 40 in
I do know that.
Sargados. Yes.
I do know that, and I don't know if you know this, but they just released there's a series called Red Hot and Raw.
No.
And they put out these. Yeah, well, there's just so much music out there now, and they're the guys who put out the original Red Hot records from the '80s, the AIDS benefit records. Do you remember these records?
Yes. Yes.
Red
yes.
Hot in Rio,
yes.
Red Hot in Ellington, Red Hot in Blue. So the same guy has restarted this series, and he has a whole series of records dedicated to Sun Ra. Michelle Enigacello just put out one. There's one that's a compilation. There's one that's Brazilian musicians. This one was curated by Kronos Quartet, and Kronos called Laurie, and Laurie said, "Oh, Sun Ra, you need to call Stephen Bernstein." So there's a track on that was just released, I guess 5 days ago, and it's with Sex Mob, Marshall Allen, Laurie Anderson, and Kronos Quartet.
Wow.
Yeah, very cool.
Oh my
Very,
God. Oh my
yeah,
God.
very, very, very cool. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Wow. Well, maybe you'll make a guest appearance there or something.
Yeah,
You know?
I did. I don't know if I ever told you about this, but one of the last things I did with Hal before he passed away was we did a U2 show at the Apollo with the Sun Ra Orchestra and the Sex Mob Orchestra.
Jesus.
And we had five. It wasn't the whole orchestra. We had 5 of Sun Ra's horn players and 6 of my horn players, and for the encore. So U2 had done a very stripped down show, invitation only. It was, I guess, Sirius Radio put together, and then for the encore, the curtain lifts, and we're on like a there's like a high, like proscenium, and standing on across the proscenium are the horns, like above the band, and it's so.
Whoa.
It's all my guys and the Sun Ra guys, and that was yeah. So I've had a lot of experience with the Sun Ra people. They've been really and I got, you know, it was kind of cool. They invited me backstage with them for their little pre-show prayer. They put on they gave me an orchestra costume, though.
Oh.
I gotta say, white people don't look so good in like red and gold lame.
No.
It doesn't really work so much with our skin color, but I wore it anyway.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. When you're given something like that, that's awesome.
Yeah,
I saw them
yeah.
last year at Opus 40, man. It's
Right.
just
Oh yeah.
beautiful. What a space, and just it's like, I don't know, it's just the one with the earth. It was just so beautiful, all of it. It really, really
Yeah.
was. The other thing I saw too, our buddy, our friend Jorma Kaukonen, you sat in with him at City Winery when he was in New York City doing his solo tour.
Yeah, we did a duo. It was amazing. Just me and Yorma in chairs sitting next to each other playing.
Yeah.
So it was so awesome.
Yeah.
No, and you know, and like that's what I call. You know, it's funny. I call these things. I have gifts from Hal and gifts from Levon. And Levon's been gone 10 years. Hal's been gone 4 years, and they keep giving me these gifts.
Yeah.
And I really feel like, you know, the fact that like Yorma was like, oh, I'm in his circle. That's like a direct gift from Levon. Just my association with. It's both my association with Levon and what I learned about music from playing with Levon for 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, I learned a lot about how to take what I know and apply it to roots music, blues music, folk music. You know, a lot of jazz musicians, they've just never had the experience. Like, well, how do you take what we know how to do with improvisation and relate it to that music? And, you know, so yeah, Yorma's he's what I call, he's my new old friend.
Yeah, yeah. He's so easy to call a friend right away. He's just.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
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 No. And what a special musician.
Yeah.
I mean, as well as guys, he's kind of like Levon in that like everyone loves him.
Right.
Like you don't even have to be a giant music fan. You can be someone who likes music and you go like, man, that guy's really good. You know, just like people are with Levon. Like they see the Last Waltz and they might not know a lot about music. They go like, man, who is that drummer? That guy's really cool.
Yeah.
Can't believe how many people told me that. Like, you know, man, that drummer. People who weren't like necessarily rock and roll people, you know.
Right.
They go like,
hey, do you remember your first time meeting Levon?
Oh yeah, there's a record of it. It's on the record. That's how special Levon was. So when I met Levon, it's when I didn't actually get introduced to him until after we had played the set. So I come up to play a ramble. It was a very early ramble, maybe the third or fourth one. The first time it was more. Originally, it was just Eric playing sax, and Levon said, "Oh," he said, "Eric, you got another horn player? Let's get a section." So I've told the story a million times. So Eric and I are driving up, and I said, "Listen, man, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be a lot of rehearsal or anything like that. So I have an idea. Instead of like us trying to play together, we don't know what's going on. Don't play with me, because usually horn players try to play the same thing. So it's like a horn section. I said, make it like New Orleans music.
Yeah.
I'll play what I play, and you play what you play. And if you play something you think is good, and I play something I think is good, that's two good things. That's way better than one mediocre thing. You know what I'm saying? And so what happened was, we thought we might have a little rehearsal, but we didn't. You know, we just hung out all day, and we didn't meet Levon. We started playing a set with Ola Bell, and at one point, little Sammy comes on, and at one point, Levon gets behind the drums and just starts calling songs, and we just improvise the songs. And as I remember that first night, we're kind of standing right next to Levon. Now, I've never met him. I don't know the guy, but he would like play these fills and look over at me, and then I'd be like, I guess he wants me to do something now, because he's playing a big fill and looking at me with that big smile. And if you listen to Live at the Ramble, Volume 2, it starts off with When This Battle Is Over, and it's a big horn feature. And I don't know the song, and I don't know Levon.
Wow.
But that's the beauty of improvisation. That's where being a jazz musician comes into play.
Yep.
Because I've been improvising my whole life, so I just listen and react. And Levon loved that about the way me and Eric played, and he was just like, "Okay, can you guys come to the next one?" That was it. That's how we joined the band.
Man, and then of course Howard there, and oh my
Howard,
God,
then Clark, and then Jay. So it
yeah,
started with two horns. Actually, Clark joined first, then three horns. Then Howard joined, four horns, and then finally Jay joined the band. And we had five horns because
yeah,
Jay was off with Greg Allman.
right,
He wasn't. You know, and
right.
finally he finally joined the band too. And then we had a five horn section.
Man, man, oh my
Yeah,
God, man,
yeah.
those were beautiful days, man,
And
beautiful
this, and
days.
you know what? It's still beautiful days there.
Yes, yes,
I'll tell you,
yeah,
with all the amazing, the energy of having Connor and Adam Minkoff and Zach, this kind of like, now I'm the old guy in the band.
yeah, yeah. You and
You know,
Brian.
me and Brian and me and Brian and Eric are the old guys in the band.
Yeah.
And I'm almost the age Levon was when I met him, basically.
Wow.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
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 Because
Yeah.
it was 20 years ago when
Wow. Jesus.
this November will be 20 years from my first ramble. Yeah.
Man, oh man. Yeah, time, like when you put it into that, it's like,
Yeah.
wow, man, that's how
Yeah.
long it's been going. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
oh man, yeah. So, just while we're talking about it, tickets, for Levon's Rambles, they happen every month. There's two happening this weekend. LevonHelm.com. So, just in case anybody's around this weekend, of course, it's a holiday weekend, and for me, what better way to celebrate than live music, right? So,
That's right.
yeah, yeah. So, anybody wants to see you this weekend, they can see you with the Midnight Ramble at the Levon Helm Studios. Of course, need to talk about. Oh my God, I love Millennial Territory Orchestra. You guys got together, what, like 2006 or something? Or
Nope. November 1999.
wow,
Yep.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. I remember seeing you at Birdland and just blown away. And I took my cousin, and she doesn't go see a lot of music, and she just like was blown away by you and this band. And it was just talk about how you started, and you've got some amazing musicians with you, of
Oh
course.
yeah. It's a 9-piece band, and here's the story. I guess it was right when my daughter was born. So 29 years ago, um, I went and did a film. Hal Wilner, who I've already talked about, brought me on to a Robert Altman film called Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a film about Kansas City in 1934. It took place in a jazz club, and we had a jazz band playing during the film. So while people are doing their lines, there's a band playing, and it's supposed to be over. I can't remember now if it's 48 hours or what. It most of it's centered around this club, and it's supposed to be almost as if it's Count Basie's band playing. And we had all the best young jazz musicians. I mean, as just Josh Redman and Nicholas Payton and
Wow.
and James Carter and Don Byron and Curtis Folks and Christian McBride and Ron Carter.
Damn.
And Victor Lewis and Jerry Allen and Mark Whitfield and Russell Malone and Fathead Newman and Olu Dara and David Murray were there for a few days. It was incredible. James Zoller, as I said, Jesse Davis, and and there were all these incredible moments. It's a giant tenor battle between Josh Redman and Craig Handy, a tenor battle between Josh Redman and James Carter, a duo with Don Byron and Ron Carter. I mean, it was just all this incredible music, and my job was to be kind of like how they have people who come and they make sure everything is according. If it's a period piece,
Mm-hmm.
that they make sure this is the right kind of a car and the right kind of clothing and things like that. That was my original job there, was just to kind of be there for the music, to kind of make sure that it was stylistically, even though we weren't comping the music, somewhat trying to keep it in that era,
Uh-huh.
And I ended up actually doing a lot of the arrangements because Hal originally thought we could improvise the whole thing, and that was aspirational as opposed to realistic. And so we ended up having to make arrangements every night for a giant movie, and but we did. It was incredible, but I was obsessed with all this music because the way I had kind of prepped to be this kind of the arbiter of like, well, what's stylistic was to listen to all that music from that period for like a couple months. And that was my job. And Hal was like paying me every month, every week. He'd send me home with back then cassette tapes to listen to. And I got obsessed with this music. So what happened was Sex Mob had been playing every Friday at midnight at Tonic. And it was a huge thing. I mean, there were lines around the block. It was like the place to be in New York City at that time. This is 1999. And Bill Frisell hired Kenny and Tony for his band. So suddenly, Kenny and Tony weren't available to play with Sex Mob, but I had a Friday night that was like a guaranteed packed house.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, why don't I try to put together a band that plays some of that old music I've been obsessed with, but like not in that way. Like, let's just play it and see what happens. Because this is like, downtown New York at midnight on a Friday. It's a pretty loose scene there.
Mm-hmm.
And we started by doing that. I said, let me put together a band that's kind of like that kind of ensemble. So I had a clarinet and a tenor sax and a baritone sax and a violin and a trombone. I actually had a banjo, not guitar, the first couple weeks, and drums and bass. And what happened was I started off by doing that music. And then one day I'm walking, doing some shopping. And in my head, I actually now can't remember if it was either Ripple or else Science Field Delivered. But I heard one of those two tunes in that style of that old music.
Oh.
And I said, let me write this down. And then I realized I could do any kind of music using this orchestration and I'm not trying to imitate old music. I'm just using that feeling of those kind of instruments, of the clarinet, the violin, the trombone. And I started arranging all kinds of music. And of course, now when you come see us, maybe you'll hear a song from the 20s, but just as likely you'll hear a Beatles tune or a Prince tune or one of my songs or a Sun Ra piece or a Mingus piece or, it could be, any kind of piece that we play because I've just written so many arrangements at this point. And, you can go from Grateful Dead to Louis Armstrong to Charles Mingus, and it doesn't feel like there's any difference in the music because there's like a unified field of the way the music feels, no matter what era it was originally written in.
Yeah. No, it's just captivating. I love your arrangements, and So, is this your first time playing at the Saratoga Jazz Festival?
I played at Saratoga, with I guess they have a dance festival. I did music there once for a ballet, for Ellington Ballet years ago. But so that was at Saratoga, but it's my first time at the actual jazz festival. Yeah. So I'm super excited.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah. You're going to be playing at the Discovery Stage on Saturday, June 29th, the first day of the festival at 3 p.m. And doesn't matter.
I'm playing I'm playing the 30th.
Third.
Am I playing 29th? No, I'm playing. Wait.
You're playing on the Saturday.
I'm playing the Saturday. Yes. Right. The Saturday.
Yes.
Right. 26th. Yes.
Yes.
26, 27, 29. You're absolutely right. I'm playing the 29th.
Yeah, because you scared me for a second. But you are playing with MTO, some other festivals up in Canada. You're doing June 26th.
Ottawa the 26th and Rochester 27th and 28th. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So you guys got a couple of festival shows happening. And then June 29th at Saratoga. We're going to give away a pair of tickets to that right after this conversation. So stay tuned, people. It's a great lineup at Saratoga Jazz Festival.
Oh, my God. It really is.
And Stephen,
it's incredible.
I want to congratulate you on something. And I don't know if you talked about it on air yet, but you are making a Carnegie Hall debut as a band leader.
It hasn't really been quite. It's been announced, but I haven't made a big deal about it yet because it's not till next year.
Right, but I want to just, now that I have you, say bravo, Maestro,
Thank you.
And that's
Thank
freaking
you.
awesome. Do we have the date yet for Carnegie Hall with Stephen Bernstein?
I'm really. I believe it's March 14th. You think I would know when it could be March 15th? I just think I would know when my Carnegie Hall debut is, but I can look at my calendar. Wait 1 second. you think the problem is when you live in the present, then
Yes. Yes.
it's like, but what's the future? I don't know. It's
Yeah,
like
and
something.
it is almost a year away now. Seriously, do the tickets go on sale? Like how far in advance? Like in the fall or something? You don't know.
You know what? I have no idea.
And, and tell me
I'm just trying to deal with today. At
what
this point,
what band are you bringing to Carnegie Hall?
it's going to be MTO with guests,
Uh
and
huh.
March 14th,
March
and it's
14th.
Zankel Hall at Carnegie Hall. It's not the big Carnegie Hall.
Doesn't
It's
matter.
like,
It's Carnegie
no,
Hall.
I know it is Carnegie Hall. I'm just letting you know for just the people who are looking for tickets. But so what I think it's going to be is a bit of a career retrospective of the arrangements I've made, because at this point, of course, everyone's schedules change. I have MTO, Medeski, Cat Russell, and Vernon Reed. Now,
Oh,
now
wow.
Vernon, who I don't know if you know who Vernon
Yes,
is. Yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
Vernon was in one of the very first bands I played in New York. When I was 19, probably 20 years old. I've known Vernon a really long time. He's an amazing guy. He's on the MTO Play Sly record. He's also played with us when we did the James Brown shows. Medeski, of course, is on MTO Volume 3, Manifestos of Henryisms, and of course also on maybe 4 or 5 Sex Mob records, including Sex Mob Meets Medeski. And then Cat is obviously on MTO Meets Cat Russell, Community, Good Time
Good
Music.
time music, yes.
So, basically I feel like I just want to do, all, maybe a couple, because with Medeski, I can do some of the pieces I did for Henry. And then with Cat, we could do some Sly stuff. So I think it's going to be, but who knows? I definitely want to, and I want to create at least one new piece. But I've been thinking about this. Like, there's just too many pieces I want to do. I was talking to Danny Melnick about this. It's like, but I think I do want to do a thing with just a bit of a variety show, like all this different kind of music.
I think that's perfect. Can they record this for you?
That I don't know.
Yes. So, by the way, speaking of Danny, he just texted me. The show is March 14th. Subscription tickets on sale now. Single concert tickets sometime in late August. According to Danny, he's listening. So.
Oh, awesome! Hello, Danny. Yeah, and so I think that's going to be the scope of the show. And I would like to write one new piece, but like I said, there's so many pieces I want to do at this point. It's like, I was like, how do I cram all that into 90 minutes? And so, but we will, and it's going to be really amazing.
I am going to do my absolute best to make sure I'm in that audience, because I am a huge fan of yours, Stephen. I think you are one of the best we've gotten out here. So, really, you are just a freaking rock star in my eyes. And I can't, I gush over you every time I see you and I talk to you. I'm a
you're a music fan, and I'm a music guy.
Yeah.
And, there are people who there's all kinds of people in the world of music, and there's the people who are like really big stars, and then the people who are like just like me, like I'm a music guy, and that's why I've been able to that's why someone like Laurie Ansnerson wants to work with me, and Levon wanted to work with me, and Yorma wants to work with me, and Hal worked with me, because I love music.
Yes.
And then I think people feel that when they come hear me play. It's like, I'm just a music guy. I'm what's called a lifer.
Yeah.
I'm a lifer.
Yeah. And you're just like immersed into it. It's like you're one with your instrument when you play. And when you're on stage and you're the band leader, you kind of just get 9 pieces, 14 pieces, don't matter how many people there are playing. You just hear it and feel it all. And it's so evident in watching you perform. It's a beautiful thing to watch you perform. So,
well, and also, I'm at this point, because I'm not a kid anymore, I'm 62 years old, I'm a bit of a connection to the old world, because my teachers were the guys who played with Duke Ellington and Benny Goodman and Dizzy Gillespie and all those people. So I learned firsthand from the people who played with the originators. And so what I'm trying to do is take the things I learned, put it into the world around me. And because, like I said, I was right next to those people. Like, my first gigs were with big bands with older musicians, and I'm trying to find a way to keep that spirit of that kind of music, but in our world. So you can say, yeah,
Yes.
what happens if you take that Duke Ellington influence and, throw it onto some Lou Reed or throw it onto some Laurie Anderson? Not that I want their music to sound like Duke Ellington. I just want to take the lessons I learned from Duke. And I always tell people, listen, when I play rock and roll, I'm playing Louis Armstrong.
Right.
Like that's like I'm like I'm not no offense to Bruce Springsteen, but I'm not playing Bruce Springsteen. I'm
Right.
playing Louis Armstrong when I play rock and roll,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where it all comes from. It all comes from Louis Armstrong, and especially rock and roll if you count Basie, And so I'm just and because I love all the music, and I'm just trying to find a way to, just try to take those, like I said, those things that I love about music and make the, I always say, like, I always like it when there's plenty of music in the music. And, and of course, Levon, he loved that. That's, he wanted 5 horns. Like,
Right.
there's
Right.
a lot of music, no
Right.
offense to it, but it doesn't have that much music to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's really good, but it could be maybe more based on the words or, something like that. Or maybe some music might just be only very rhythmic oriented. I like to have a lot of music in my music.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You most definitely do. Stephen, you going to write a book?
People keep asking me. I started one during the pandemic,
Uh
but
huh.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if summer's a little slow, hey,
I got plenty of new stories since the pandemic too. I'll tell you something.
I bet.
I will say that working with Laurie Anderson has been one of the most incredible experiences ever. She is beyond. She is just a beyond individual.
Wow.
And I've worked with a lot of people in my life, and I've never ever had an experience.
Well,
like
listen, we got
her.
Danny Melnick listening, so maybe he can book you guys up for something.
Okay.
We'll throw it out there. You never know.
Okay. Maybe I get Laurie to come and do a song at Carnegie Hall with us. How's that sound?
Yeah. Put it on her calendar now, so that hey, you never know. Or a whole separate date with Laurie Anderson somewhere.
That's right.
So hey,
right.
You got to throw it out there, but it's all good. Maestro, you're going to be at Levon Helm Studios this weekend with the Midnight Ramble Band celebrating Levon's birthday. You are going to be at Saratoga Jazz Festival. Yay! Your
Incredible.
First trip there, Millennial Territory Orchestra, happening Saturday, June 29th. And you will be on the Discovery stage at 3 p.m. I will be front and center there.
Excellent.
And
all right.
We'll hang a little afterwards because I'm assuming you're
sir.
hanging for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Perfect.
Hey, how late? Do you know how late does Saratoga run?
The last show in the amphitheater show starts at 8:55 p.m. Lake Street Dive closes it, so I'm going to guess it by 10:30. But Danny might chime in and say that's usually everybody's out of there by like 11 at the latest. So
all right.
At least that was my experience last year, and you kind of go between the two stages. But I will be front and center. Doesn't matter to me what else is playing anywhere else. If Stephen Bernstein's at Saratoga Jazz Festival, my ass is sitting there. So that's
all right. You're allowed to say that on the radio?
Ass I am, nothing else. Don't go with any other words. I'll get my ass in trouble. But that one I can say. That one
Excellent.
I can say. Stephen, I'm going to play some more music. I'm going to
Play
I'm going to leave you by yourself.
Oh, that's a good tune. Okay, a little background on that. That's by Eddie Harris. And that was the first concert I ever saw at a jazz club in 7th grade. Me and Peter Applebaum went to go hear Eddie Harris, and this is a beautiful Eddie Harris song.
Oh, my God. It's beautiful. I'm going to give away a pair of tickets while we do this. Stephen,
wait.
Yes.
One quick name drop on that. So Bonnie Raitt came to hear MTO, and she loved this arrangement. She said, "Oh, that Eddie Harris tune."
Where was that?
In San Francisco. We played in San Francisco. Like it was before the pandemic. She came and heard us.
Wow.
And I was like, Bonnie, anytime, I'm ready.
Oh, man. I'm going to go see her up in Albany in about 2 weeks. I adore her.
Everyone loves Bonnie Raitt.
She's another one, right? It's like I've never heard anybody. Oh no, I don't. Never. Bonnie Raitt kicks ass. So
I love Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah.
All right.
No, gotta love Stephen Bernstein too, Maestro.
Okay.
I appreciate your time, and I will see you soon. Big hugs and safe travels to you. And I'll probably the latest I'll see you is Saratoga, if not sooner. Thanks for your time here today, Maestro.
All right.
All
Bye
right.
now.
Cheers. Bye. 91.3 WVKR, independent radio, Poughkeepsie, New York. Anyone that's listened to me over the time I've done this show knows how much I adore Stephen Bernstein's music. He is just one of a kind, and I'm not kidding. Whatever band he's with that he can put together, just go see him. You cannot go wrong. I am so thrilled for his Carnegie Hall debut, March 14th, at the Zenkel Hall, MTO with special guests. Go get tickets. Look at that. Keep an eye on it. StephenBernstein.net is his website. He's on social media as well. And just trust me on this one. He's phenomenal. And right now, I'm going to give away a pair of tickets to one lucky listener. I'm going to ask that you please be sure you can attend the show. Please don't just call to win tickets, because this is a coveted pair of tickets to the Saratoga Jazz Festival. I've got a pair of lawn seats for Saturday, June 29th. You have to be able to go. Just look at your calendar now before I give you the phone number and make sure you can attend this show. If you can't and you want to go, please just give this to somebody else. All right, let's do the right thing here, people, and call if you want to win one pair of tickets. They're lawn seats to Saratoga Jazz Festival. Saturday, June 29th, Stephen Bernstein, today's guest, he's bringing Millennial Territory Orchestra to the festival. This is the 47th annual festival. Other musicians being there that day. We're starting it off. Joey Alexander, the New Orleans Groove Masters, Yusef Day's Experience, Samara Joy, Simafunk, with special guest Pedro Martinez, Lake Street Dive, all on the amphitheater stage. On the Discovery stage, it opens up with Sarah Caswell Quartet. Also, Harold Lopez Nuza, Tia Fuller, Stephen Bernstein, Theo Croker, and Coco Montoya. This is going to be one heck of a day. Tickets available at spac.org, or give us a call right here. I have one pair of lawn seats for Saratoga Jazz Festival, Saturday, June 29th. All you have to do is give us a call and say you want to go and really be able to go. The number here, 845-437-7178. You and a guest are going to have one heck of a fun-filled day. Again, it's Saturday, June 29th at Saratoga Performing Arts Center. Of course, guess where that is? That's right, Saratoga Springs. If you can go and you'd like a pair of these tickets, give us a call, 845-437-7178. And the phone lines are going crazy. Let's take a listen to more music by Stephen Bernstein's Millennial Territory Orchestra here right now on 91.3 WVKR. And 91.3 WVKR. Man, oh man, did we have a wonderful ticket winner. Joanne from Warwick, New York, a woman after my own heart. She says she only listens to independent radio. Perfect person to win the tickets for the Saturday show of the 47th annual Saratoga Jazz Festival. Today's guest, Stephen Bernstein's bringing his band Millennial Territory Orchestra to day one of the two-day festival. And Joanne is going to be in attendance. And Joanne, I'm so happy for you. Thank you for listening to WVKR and being such a fan of the great music and all the shows that we have here. And Joanne is going to Saratoga Jazz Festival. There are still tickets available for that, folks. It's a two-day festival featuring so many amazing people, including Lake Street Dive, Nora Jones, Stanley Clark, Corey Henry, Terrence Blanchett, Joey Alexander, Ola Tuja, Pedrito Martinez, Helen Sung, Samara Joy. There's just countless 2 days of nonstop music from noon or even earlier. Yeah, 11 o'clock it starts on Saturday until like 10 o'clock or something. So spac.org, spac.org for tickets and information. You can go one day, both days, get a festival pass, whatever you want to do. But again, congratulations to Joanne from Warwick, New York, who is going to go to the festival on Saturday, June 29th. And a huge thank you to today's guest, Stephen Bernstein. It's always a joy and a pleasure to talk with him. If you missed part of that conversation, I'd like to hear it. I will be uploading it to the YouTube channel tonight, which is LocalMotion on 91.3 WVKR. And wow, what a wonderful show. First time back in 5 weeks, and had a little technical snafu, but you know, that stuff happens, but it's live radio, and that's sometimes what happens. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Stephen Bernstein for his time today. Danny Melnick from Absolutely Live, who's a producer of the Saratoga Jazz Festival, for the ticket giveaway. Congratulations to Joanne for winning the tickets, and really, truly a lot of fun. I will return next week with two guests. We will have Brett Bernardini. He's the executive director of the Stissing Center in Pine Plains. And I will have Chrissy Poland, who is an amazing vocalist, and bringing her show to the Falcon in Marlborough. So we have two guests next week, one for the 4 o'clock hour and one for the 5 o'clock hour. And I'm going to leave you out with about 2 minutes